HaShem, I'm coming out here, but I'm telling you right now, it's like, it is raining. Sort of. It's if you think of drizzling as raining, then this would be like the drizzle in relation to that kind of drizzle. So it's not really drizzling. It's like a fraction of a drizzle. Kind of like, kind of almost like if it was just drizzling just enough that you don't really even know if it's drizzle or not. If you're outside and you're like, there's just drizzle? Is it drizzling? I can't tell. I feel like it might be. It's like one micro step above that, where it's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I think, but I could be wrong. That's about where it's at. Like, I meant to come out and do this before, but I was all set. Like, I had everything all set, ready to go, and then my mother invited me to eat some bacon that had been sitting around since this morning. And it's really not that late. What time is it? It's 5? Yeah, but I think that was at 3. That was at 3. Because I ended up going to sleep finally. After that last recording from last night, I got home and I scavenged some food. Like, I was just kind of picking at some stuff that was sitting around. And then I think I took a nap. As soon as I was done recording that video yesterday, I took a nap. I know, this isn't really going anywhere right now. Context? Thank you, HaShem. Oh, I didn't sleep the night before. I didn't sleep on Saturday night. I stayed up all night. So I woke up around 10 o'clock on Saturday. No, I think I woke up around like 8 or 9 on Saturday. And then I didn't go to sleep finally until 8 p.m. last night. Those dreams, what were those dreams about? I couldn't help but think that they were important because I kept on, I couldn't. This is the second time I'm bringing them up today. They were more vivid than usual, but I mean, I thought I had a pretty good idea of what they were saying, preparing me for, putting in my head. Well, the one I was working at Walmart, I was a manager, but I wasn't very happy because the team was just doing whatever the fuck they wanted. Like, I couldn't get them to do anything. And it had gotten to a point where I was about to just walk out. I think I was walking out when it dawned on me, like, you don't have to do, you're going too much, you're doing too much. You're doing too much, like, you don't have to be doing so much. And basically, like, don't worry about getting other people to do things. Like, you don't have to make anyone do anything. Oh, shit. Like, everybody knows what they gotta do. That's why. I was fucking walking to a car. I hate that. It's like I almost fucking walked in front of your car. Just go. Then they stop and they go, go. I know, they're being courteous, but... Yes, because I'm the type of manager, I don't like telling people what to do. I fucking hate it. Well, maybe you're not cut out to be a manager. No, I am. It's just I expect more from my people. Like, I don't mind, like, some direction. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna do this today, you're gonna da-da-da-da-da. But... Or, here's the shit that needs to get done. Fuck. Here's the things that need to get done today. Everybody knows what the fuck their job is. Go do it. See, it becomes a problem when the people aren't doing shit. Because I don't like having to go like, hey, yo, hey, guy. Like when I was in Lancaster, right? Oh, you want a perfect team? Yeah, absolutely. I used to manage a vehicle wrap shop. Oh God, that was painful shit. I used to be the unofficial manager of a graphic department for a bigger operation for exhibit house. Again, this is a pain in the ass shit because if you don't, especially when it comes to doing my job, I can't trust anybody to do my stuff. Now it's raining. Like I was thinking about it today. Like, what is taking so long for me to actually build something that can generate money? And I realized what's taking so long is I have to do everything. I have to be the one. I don't ever want to have to deal with employees. I just want to be the one guy that does everything. I don't like working on teams. I don't like working with other people. So my new idea is I'm just going to live and work as if all humanity is going to go extinct except for me. Or maybe even including me, but everything I'm doing is going to be the only thing that actually keeps humanity alive going into the future. Because everyone else is doing everything they can to go down the death door. I'm trying to go down the opposite door. So, you know, a really good analogy is in Dianetics. The 4 dynamics of survival. Because Dianetics says that survival is like the number one motivating factor in life, right? But then that survival comes in four different flavors. There is the survival of the individual. There is the survival of the individual through sex, through procreation. Survival of the individual through their group. Survival of the individual through humanity, right? And I'm changing that up a little bit. So like I'm adding my own little flair to it. Like everybody's working towards survival of one degree or another. Which you can actually see in Genesis. That's what Genesis is all about. You know, Genesis isn't like... The religions of today, they kind of confiscated Genesis as their own thing, right? How the books of Moses were building these religions, but that's not true. That's not true whatsoever. Like, the books of Moses, those are instruction manuals. How do you build a nation? How do you build a fucking empire? It's gonna take it's not gonna be in one generation. It's gonna take a long ass time, but you can do it. That's why I consider myself, I really do, and this is dead ass serious. Like I consider myself an Abrahamic patriarch. I don't consider myself to be a part of any group. I'm a Jew, yeah, but I'm a descendant of Abraham. That's why. I'm a descendant of Jacob. I'm a descendant of Adam. So yeah, I'm a Jew. I'm a descendant of Jesus. I'm a Jew. I don't practice Judaism. No, I come from the race of Jews. The Hebrew bloodlines. Hebrews, Israelites, and Jews. It's all. So you think of it like Hebrew is the genera, or maybe the class. Israelite is the genera, and then Jew is the species. Although and then there's the differentia of Jews. There's different kinds of Jews. Well, there's at least 13 different types of Jews. "13 different Jews for the 13 different tribes." Yeah. You're literally putting yourself in a group. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm getting to a point. That's why. Because we're building up to some kind of point. What's the point? I don't know. We haven't started there yet. Well, it all starts with a point. We're talking about Dianetics, survivalism. How Genesis is a handbook, a guidebook for how to build your own society, build your own empire. Because why the fuck do you want to be part of anyone else's empire for? Why the fuck do you want to be part of the American empire? Why the fuck would you want to be part of the Chinese empire? Why the fuck would you want to be part of the Russian empire? Why the fuck would you want to be part of the European empire? Why would you want to be part of someone else's shit? Why would you want someone else telling you what to do? Live your own fucking life. Start your own fucking empire. Fuck that shit. There ain't no fucking rules that say that you can't do that. It doesn't work like that. Like these people who say that people think are in power, they're not really in power. Right now we got the American elections going on right now, right? I heard Joe Biden's backing out, so Kamala Harris is going to go up against Donald Trump. All you're doing, you're voting for, well, one, they already know who's going to win. The winner already got one. Right now, but people think that they're going to be voting for the next person who's going to run the United States. Meanwhile, no one's running anything. Nobody runs a fucking thing. The last time Donald Trump got elected, the guy didn't fucking do anything because the Senate wasn't in alignment with the fucking presidency. And even when the Senate, I think there was a little bit of alignment. Even when the Senate was in alignment with the presidency, they weren't in alignment with the presidency. So it's a fucking game. It's a fucking show. If you want to believe that your voting matters, okay, but you're only voting for who gets to read the cue cards. I used to think Donald Trump was real, but I don't think so anymore. I think it's just another part of the show. There's a good book, The Penultimate Truth by Philip K. Dick. I love that book. The majority of humanity, the majority of the fucking the regular class, the regular folk, they live underground in bunkers because World War III decimated and poisoned the earth. So the people, they lived underground, but mostly the Russians and the Americans. I think the Russians and the Americans are the only ones left. But the World War III was the last war, America versus Russia, and the war never ended. So, but because the Earth was so poisoned, we had to use robots to fight the war for us. So the people who were living in bunkers, all they did was make robots. They were making the robots, and the robots were fighting the war. Automatons, right? So eventually in this one bunker, they were running out of supplies, like vital supplies, and someone had to go and travel up to the surface and somehow find supplies to bring back. I forget if it was even a sanction. The person might have had I think they snuck out is really what happened. But once they got to the surface, they found out that the Earth was not only livable, but that there was a civilization. There was a whole fucking civilization up there. And the fucking robots that they were making for war, there was no war. The rich and the elite. The elites were still living up on the surface, and the robots were their servants. So the humans were, that was their security forces. And every day, the people they would see on the big screens, the President of the United States, he would give an update on the war, and they would have these elaborate, they would show footage of the war that was going on. Later on, we find out that it was all staged. Everything was part of a hoax. It was a big hoax that they were playing on humanity. That even the scenes from the war were fabricated. It was all on a set. It was all animatronics. Even the president was an animatron. So what would happen is the American president, as soon as it was like a fucking puppet. It was a robot that was made to look like a human being. And so as soon as the American president was done giving his speech and done giving his update, the cameras would turn off, the clothing would be changed, and then the robot's seat would be moved. And the robot that played the American president was also the same robot that played the Russian president at the same time. Shit. Fuck. It's all a hoax. It always has been. It has been for as long as I can remember. And a lot longer than that. That's why I don't play by the system. I don't do that anymore. I'm learning from the patriarchs on how to not rebuild society, but how to start your own. And you start it on your own by going at it on your own. Why do you need a business to do that? Well, it's a legal entity. It's a legal entity. So, kind of acts like a force field. Everything starts small. Abraham was a businessman. Isaac was a businessman. Jacob was a businessman. These were all businessmen. They were successful businessmen who turned their businesses into fucking a nation. Into a kingdom. Over time. It took fucking generations for that to happen, but fuck it. The other day I'm talking about what's going to be happening in 560 years. The next time that all of the calendars that we see today, the next time they're all going to be aligned like they are right this second is in 560 years. Just like 560 years ago, they were in perfect alignment like they were today. What was happening 560 years ago? I just found out today, the Gregorian calendar, the secular calendar that the Western calendar that most people are using on a day-to-day basis, that calendar is only 468 years old, 467 years old. Yeah, get that. So it's not even the year 2024 because the calendar's not even 2,000 years old. The calendar's fucking not even 500 years old. The calendar's barely fucking 450 years old. So when you look at it like that, 1580, I believe, was when the calendar was first instituted. So there was no 560 years ago. There was no Gregorian calendar. There was no first century. The first century AD was 580 or 1580. Isn't that amazing? I think that's so amazing because what that means is all history before 1580 is fabricated. It's all fake. It was all made up. We whoever uses that calendar, the Gregorian calendar, the Western secular calendar. Our history is antiquated. Our history is not antiquated. It's appropriated. We appropriated everybody else's history to accommodate our own. To make up history. There was no first century AD. There was no 1400s. There was no 1300s. There was no 800s. There was no BCE. Those years never existed. The only reason they exist is because we said they do. There's a trick. My father taught me this trick when he started his business. And you know what? I never even finished that story. But my father taught me a trick when he first started his business. Never do your first invoice as 001. Don't ever start it. Don't ever do that. Always dial it up. So make your first invoice like number 560. 666. Make your first invoice 666. This way everybody thinks that they are not the first customer. And I'm sure there's an equation for how we even came up with 1580 when the calendar was first instituted. But I really don't know. I don't know. Does anybody have the notebook that Gregory was using? Like what is all that based off of? Because his calendar, if Gregory started the calendar, where did the numbers come from? Where did the years come from? Where did 1500? What was the first year? Did when that calendar was introduced, did they say it is the year 1586? Why? Says who? Since when? 1500 years since Jesus. Is that what it was based on? Atheists don't believe in that stuff. Then why do you use the calendar? I don't understand. You can't trust the church to tell you the truth about God or Jesus or anything, but you can trust the church to tell you the truth on the year and the date. How does that work? It's just the way things are. This is just the way that things have always been. Isn't there a name for that? Isn't that like a no-no? You shouldn't be doing that. I could be wrong. Just doing things because that's what everybody else is doing. Following a way of thinking just because that's the way that everybody else is doing it. And then shitting on anybody that tries to do things differently. Meanwhile, everybody knows, like, you shouldn't be fucking shitting on people, anybody, for doing anything differently because you don't know who the fuck you're fucking with. But then, it's the same. Do I have people that fuck with me? No. Nobody bothers me. Nobody has anything to say to me. Nothing positive or negative. I don't get positive or negative reviews. All of my negative reviews are all in my head. That should be a good thing, right? Yeah, I guess that is. Thank you, HaShem. What was inspiring me to come out before to go talk? Oh yeah, what originally inspired me to come out was there was a video on YouTube that I saw. The title kind of spoke to me. It says, "You're not afraid of failure, you're afraid of succeeding." And then I started thinking, I'm like, wait, am I afraid of succeeding? Am I afraid of success? What does success look like? I don't know. I feel like I've already succeeded at everything I needed to succeed at. I don't really have anything that... I feel like every day is just a bonus. Like I get to do... Alright. I succeeded a long time ago. I think as soon as I quit my job, like as soon as I said no more, as soon as I let go of my career, as soon as I walked out the door on that, every day's been a success. I think so. I think that's how that works. Congratulations. I mean, success doesn't necessarily mean like I got millions of dollars in the bank and I got fans all over the world. I'm not even doing anything that would necessitate any of those things. But I guess first you have to define success, right? Define failure. What's failure? What is failure? I don't know. What does failure look like to you? Having to go get a job. Having to call somebody else boss. Having to call somebody else master. Having to... live on the streets. I really don't want to do that. Having to live on the streets. Eat out of garbage cans. End up in jail. End up in a homeless shelter. Psychiatric ward. Getting a lobotomy. Dying. I mean, how much more rock bottom can I get? I mean, the nice thing about being rock bottom is that it's only rock bottom from one's perspective. If you sit on rock bottom for long enough, eventually you see how your down is up and up is down. That's what it's like in Inferno. Inferno, the deeper that you descend into the fucking pits of hell, the higher that you're actually ascending. That's a good thing. You want to hit the bottom. Yeah, because I guess if you go the other way, you're kind of fucked. That's not a good sign. You need a glass of water, cold water, ice cold water. No, am I afraid of success? I don't know what success looks like. I don't know what success means. Beyond what it already does. I succeed every day. Every day is a success. Every day I end the day better than I was when I woke up. That's success. Like this morning I was working through some more of chapter 4 of The Gate of Trust. And the portion that I'm on right now is about... Gate of Trust is about how to rely on God. Is how to develop one's reliance on God. So you know how this is a positive form of being irresponsible. And now you're putting all of your responsibilities are falling on God now. It's like, I'm not worrying about that. I'm not worrying about where the money comes from. I'm not worrying about where the food comes from. I'm not worrying about where my clothes come from. I'm not worrying about where my shelter comes from. I'm not worrying about how the bills are going to get paid, because everything's going to get done because of God. God's taking care of everything. God's going to put me in the place I need to be in order to get all the things I need to get in order to do all the things I need to do so that I can get to where I need to be. Right? This way I can actually spend my time I can spend my time not worrying about that stuff and actually just focus on getting shit done. You know? It's a little weird, but to be perfectly honest, it's what I've been looking for my entire life. Why do I gotta worry about all this stupid shit? I don't want to worry about that. There's cooler shit to be doing, you know? It's called being an adult. No, that's not. That's called being a slave. There's a different way of doing things. And that's what the master has me doing right now. You call us the slave, but you call God master. Yeah, the master of the universe. He knows better than me. He's wiser than me. He has all the answers. I don't have any answers. I got dick for answers. I ain't got shit. But because of me trusting in God for these past 6 years, I've gotten more done in 6 years than most people will get done in the entirety of their lives. Those are facts. What do you have to show for it, though? What the fuck do you mean, what do I have to show for it? I'm not dead. I'm not living on the streets. I'm not in jail. I'm not eating out of garbage cans. Do I have a life of luxury at the moment? No, sorry. I don't define success by one's degree of luxury. No, I choose to do something more meaningful than just fucking piss off all day. Like, I don't really concern myself too much with what other people are doing. I barely even know what the hell the state of the world is. It's not my problem. I don't want to worry about it. I don't have to. What about all your people in Israel? Listen, man. They're as much as my people as I am theirs. How can you call yourself a Jew? Because I just am. Besides, Israel is not God's creation. The state of Israel is creation of man. It's an idol. The UN gave the Jewish people the state of Israel. That state's not in the Bible. It's made up. It's just a human creation. As far as I'm concerned, I think that the entire state should surrender and give Hamas what they want. The whole thing. And even apologize. Apologize? Apologize for what? I have no idea. Whatever the fuck they want an apology for. What are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah. Something I've learned, something I'm still getting the hold of, and it's not easy. That's why I can't blame anybody for not being able to do it better than me. I'm still learning how to do it better than myself. Is taking responsibility for other people's actions. The fuck would you want to do that for? Just to get it done. Because someone's got to do it. So if no one's going to take responsibility for that, no one's going to take responsibility for knocking over the cookie jar, fuck it, I'll do it. Just give it to me. Pretend. Let's just say I did it. This way we can move on. Right? Because nobody takes responsibility for anything. We're just kind of stuck on the same thing forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Fuck that, man. So, a challenge for me is when I do get stuck on things. Like I do have a life. I do have a human life that is filled with some degree of resentment towards other people. So what I try to get into the habit of doing is like take responsibility for it. Like this morning, like I'm taking responsibility right now for my mom and her husband not being friends with my son's grandparents. Because my mother hasn't seen my son in years. In 4 years. I haven't seen him in 6. So that's a problem. I think that's an issue. So that's all my fault. I take the blame for that. I take the blame for that. I take the blame for my mom and my ex-mother-in-law not being friends. I take blame for that. I did. I filled everybody's head with bad things about it, the other ones. I take blame for that. This way it's done. This way it's like, okay, all right, next order of business. I take blame for my divorce. I take blame for any kind of psychological, emotional, or physical damage that my son has been holding on to. Same thing with my ex-wife. I take all the blame for all the stuff. Everything that I can't even think of blame for yet. Everything that I don't even know yet. I just want it. This way it's all done, you know? This morning I was thinking about it. I was actually thinking about messaging my ex-father-in-law and just say, hey, you have permission to make friends with my mom. You know that? I give you permission. I give you and Joanne permission to make nice with my mom. For Desmond's sake. But then I started thinking, like, am I really going to do that? Probably not. Why? I don't have to. Just by thinking about it. Because I don't know what I don't know. Like, you can't. I don't know what people are going through on their own terms. So it's like, oh, we'd love to, but we can't. Oh, it's all right. I'm just giving you permission. I don't really care about all the other stuff. Don't worry about bothering me with that. How's that? What is that? I don't know. That's weird. Oh, I don't feel like being outside. That's all. Don't you have anything new to say? I don't know. I don't think so. Same old shit. Well, that's a problem too, isn't it? It is. How things going? Same old. I hate that. What were you saying about? What were you saying about the gate of trust? It's about putting your life in danger. How it's considered suicide if you needlessly put your life in danger without God kind of telling you to do it. And it was using the example of Samuel when God told Samuel to anoint David. Well, God didn't actually tell David to go anoint Samuel. I mean, go anoint David. He never said David until he got there. Well, until he never once said David at all. As a matter of fact, Samuel went through every single one of Jesse's sons before David. And then after they went through every single one of Jesse's sons, he's like, is there any other kids here? Aren't there any other boys? And Jesse's like, no, this is my last son. There's no other children. There's no other... There's David, but no, everybody hates David. What the fuck do you want David for? So Samuel was afraid to do this because there was already a king. there was King Saul, but Saul fucked up. And God decided that Saul was not... I'm no shock. That Saul wasn't fit to be king anymore. So that's when he decided he was going to anoint David. And he told Samuel to go, that he was going to go anoint the new king. And Samuel's like, what? Yeah, you're fucking mine? If Saul finds out about this, he's going to fucking kill me. But the point of the story is you're not putting your life in danger when God commands you to go do something. Like when God told me to go to LA. It's an incredibly dangerous trip. But I wasn't in danger. Or when I went to Dallas, or when he told me to go to Dallas. It's not because he was putting my life in danger. It felt like it, but it wasn't. So the idea is sometimes we get called to do scary stuff. And our better judgment might tell us like, oh my God, you're going to die if you do this. No way, you can't, this isn't going to work. Don't do this. But it's up to us to trust that HaShem wouldn't have asked us to do it if we weren't fully capable of getting the job done better than anybody else. So in that regard, it's not that we're actually putting our lives in danger. It might feel like we're putting our lives in danger, but it's not the same as recklessly putting our life in danger. But it starts off by talking about how those of us who do put our lives recklessly in danger, if we end up dying because of the reckless thing that we're doing, that counts as suicide. And to expect to be punished as if it were. But then we get into the story of Samuel, where Samuel thought that his life, he was being put into danger by God. But in reality, God wouldn't have done that to Samuel. And there's also what comes into question is, was Samuel wrong for questioning God? Did that demonstrate that Samuel didn't trust God because he was concerned that if Saul found out what he was doing, that he would kill him? And no, he was being cautious. It's not that he didn't trust God, he was just stating the facts. If Saul found out what he was doing, oh hell yeah, Saul would have fucking killed him. Saul fucking hated David. He loved David for a little while, until David's popularity outshone. Once David started to outshine Saul, that's when Saul was like, all right, this kid's gotta go. He's gotta go now. This is bad. Because Saul didn't want to give up power. King Saul. We run into him in Purgatory. When Dante goes through Purgatory, Saul's there, along with King Rehoboam, Solomon's son. Now, for a man with like 700 wives and 300 concubines, he only had like 3 kids. He didn't have many. You know you're doing amazing, right? I know. I know. I know it. Hashem, am I afraid of success? What does success look like to you? What does my success look like to you, Hashem? You're doing. You're already succeeding. You're succeeding so much more than you realize. I know. It's unconventional success, but it's success. The money, the food. You lack discipline. I'm so much more disciplined of a person than I used to be. It's amazing. It's a different kind of discipline. Well, I think the other big lesson from the gated trust too, it's learning to trust those feelings like this is too good to be true. Like I can't do that. There's no way that's real. And I was saying this yesterday, but just kind of holding on to like it's not impossible. Well, it's not impossible. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. The more that you believe that something's not possible, the more that it kind of like proves itself not to be. And the less impossible it becomes. And the less impossible that it becomes, the more possible it becomes. And then the more possible it becomes, it's like, holy shit, this is actually happening. What do I say? I don't know, kind of like Solomon. I'm good at saying things. People would come and listen to Solomon talk because he said all the best things. There's a story of him and the Queen of Sheba. She loved her some Solomon. Well, why would I need to be paid to talk? Why do I need someone to pay me to talk? I talk to her for free. So you have money? What the hell do I need money for? So I can buy food and clothes and places to live? Why would I want any of that stuff? I have the forest. Cigarettes. Plane tickets. Why would I want any of those things? Why would I want any of those things when I have the forest right down the street from my mom's house? Where I get to live for free. Grub off her food. Why would I dare want anything more for myself? If that's where God wants me, why should I question God? God, why the fuck do you want me here so bad? Why do I have to be? Because I can't. You can't do what you're doing now anywhere else. I don't understand that. I really don't. Not yet, you don't. Touché. Don't worry, there comes a point in the future where you look back on right now and you'll be able to see how you got from right now to then. You'll be really glad that everything worked out the way that it did. You're more concerned about what other people think. Is that true? I guess it's not untrue. How do I get out of that? It works itself out on its own. You're doing fine. You probably care about what other people think a lot less than the average person. Well, most people, actually. I would say probably less than 99.998% of the population. That's good. Glad about that. So this is gonna be like a rags to riches story, something like that. I can get down with that. Like, do I get a plot of land? My lord, do I get a promised land? Difficult to build a nation if I don't have a country to grow them in. The earth is your country. HaShem. It's sweet. I don't know, I really don't got nothing. That's not true. I kind of feel like all the piss and vinegar's kind of burnt out of me. I had a busy day yesterday. I had a long day yesterday. You did really good though. You think so? Yeah. And the next 2 weeks, you're gonna be like fucking killer. Because everything from the past 2 weeks is what is gonna be fueling everything for the next 2 weeks. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. I don't know. I feel like I gotta go home now. I don't know if I want to upload this. Why? Because it's not. I don't know. What do you think? I think you should. Why? Why not? Who gives a shit? What are you expecting? I don't know, some kind of really cool revelation? Well, like what? I feel like you've already done all of them. You've done all the really good revelations. Oh my god. I don't know. You know it'd be really fun if I found a $20 bill on the ground. That I would love that. If I just found like one $20 bill. Why? What are you gonna do with that $20 bill? Well, let me tell you. I'll tell you exactly what I'll do with that $20 bill. First things first. Right to this cigarette store. I'm gonna buy a pack of cigarettes. That'll leave us with about $6.75. Then, what? That's a dog. Then we're going to, God damn it, you son of a bitch. dog off a leash. Then we're going to Walmart. Or maybe not even Walmart. I don't even know. We might not even have to go to Walmart. We're gonna go to wherever the fuck I can get a 5-pound bag of flour. And I say Walmart because it's like they got like $3 fucking 5-pound bag. So it's not like well, no, we're going to go to Walmart to do it. And here's why. We're going to get the 350, I think it's like 350, 360 for the 5-pound bag of flour. Then, okay, we're going to go to the notebook section and buy 3 notebooks. I only have 5 left. 5 blank ones. 4. Now, granted, the one that I'm writing right now still has I'm only about a quarter of the way through it. So we still got at least another month on it. Or at least 3 weeks. But then I have 4 that are set aside, and then I have a 5th one. Now the 5th one I got last year. Last September, during the back to schools. Oh, dude. So Walmart used to have really cool notebooks. I had this one set. They were so fucking cool. They're scratch and sniff. They got scratch and sniff covers. Tropic like it's hot. Peeling good. What was the donut one? Or was it ice cream? It's ice cream pop. I forget what he said. But did I get the one with the dog on? I never got the one with the dog. I wanted to get the one with the fucking dog. But anyway, they used to have really cool notebooks. Now they just have black. The composites. They come in an assortment of colors, but now it's raining. Now it's fucking raining. Now I got a fucking 10-minute goddamn walk. But I have one Stranger Things. It's a Demogorgon, but it's got a embossed Demogorgon cover. So half of it is like a red and black Demogorgon, and then the halfway down the image reverses. And it's like white and red or something like that. I'm very particular about that one notebook. I can't bring myself to writing it yet. Part of me feels like that's the last one. But at the same time, I don't think that's the last one. Whoa, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm supposed to learn how to play that. Well, I'm supposed to learn the mechanics of it. I have to learn how the mechanics work. Because I want to understand the engine, the game engine. Why? Because then you apply that way of thinking to other areas of life. It's an experiment that I started a long time ago. I have a couple starter packs of Dungeons and Dragons and the rules. I want to know the rules. I have an obsession. Well, I have several different tabletop RPG rule books because I like to know the rules. They help me classify things. That makes sense. In a weird way, it makes total sense. I know, and I have this big idea that I don't really know what the idea is yet. I know the idea is big in terms of like I have a hard time containing it all in my head. But I think that a lot of the training that I do, a lot of the study that I do, the mind training, how to think, not what to think, is helping me stretch out those parts of my brain, stretch out those parts of my mind, so that I can fit it all in there. Well, there was a really neat concept that I saw while reading the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, which is supposed to be like one of the most anti-Semitic books ever written, but I don't believe that. I think it says a lot about the Jewish race to begin with. What's wrong with wanting to take over the world? And it's not even, it's God's will. It's not even the Jewish people are trying to do it. It's just what God wants. Well, obviously non-Jews aren't very good at running the world. But the idea was that the king of the Jews, the king of Israel, the Moshiach, that he'll be able to run everything from within his own head. Now, I know, that's kind of what I was saying before. So imagine my surprise when when I was reading this book and it's talking about the king of the Jews doing the thing that I've been trying to figure out how to do on my own forever. I want to be the only person. I want to not ever have to rely on anyone. So I'm ever. I used to have these ambitions to make video games. And one of the things holding me back is the difficulty that comes with doing it all on your own. Not that it can't be done. I've seen it done on its own. I have a couple video games that were created by one-man teams. I forget his name. I forget the name of the game, too. That's too bad. There's a couple. It's more than one. Jasper something? Lone Survivor. That's a game. I think his name was Jasper. I forget his last name. But the guy, he did everything. Everything. He did the music. He did all of the engineering, all of the graphics. What's the other one? Retro City Rampage? Was that a one-man team? That was another one? Where it was just like one fucking dude that fucking did all the stuff. Love that idea. Music composition, game composition, story. I've been feeling called to learn music theory. Something I've been wanting to do for decades anyway, so this isn't anything new. I'm just feeling called back to it now. Because I feel like what? Coming down now. If this might turn off.